It was one of those freezing winter mornings when the world feels almost too heavy for those who have nothing. Ethan stood outside a bakery, staring through the glass at fresh bread he couldn't afford. His hands were cracked from work, his stomach growled, but he smiled faintly. Beside him was Liam, his best friend since childhood. Liam wasn't doing much better. He had just lost his job at the factory, and the only thing in his pocket was a crumpled dollar bill. Hungry? Liam asked, though he already knew the answer. Ethan laughed softly. That's like asking if snow is cold. Without hesitation, Liam pushed the bakery door open. He used his last dollar to buy one small loaf of bread. Ethan protested, "No, you needed to split it with me." But Liam shook his head and tore the bread in half. "We share everything. That's how we've survived this far, right?" That simple act, two poor friends breaking bread in silence, wasn't grand, but it carried the weight of a lifetime of loyalty. Days turned into weeks, and life didn't get easier. Ethan picked up scraps of work wherever he could, fixing fences, carrying boxes, cleaning streets. Liam started helping an elderly bookseller organize his dusty shop. The pay was almost nothing, but the old man taught Liam about business, how to deal with customers, keep records, and think ahead. Liam, in turn, shared everything he learned with Ethan. One night, sitting under a flickering street lamp, Ethan said, "You know, maybe we could start something of our own. Not much, just something." Liam grinned. "Like what? We can't even afford 2 cups of coffee." But Ethan's eyes didn't lose their fire. "What if we use what we have, your business sense, my hands, and our stubbornness?" That idea grew like a seed. With borrowed tools and salvaged wood, they began repairing old furniture in an abandoned garage. Liam handled the talking, Ethan did the fixing. At first, people laughed, 2 broke young men trying to sell chairs when they barely had one to sit on themselves. But slowly, kindness worked its quiet magic. The old bookseller spread the word. A neighbor dropped off a broken table and insisted they keep the small payment. Then someone else came. And another. Their tiny repair shop began to bloom. Still, there were setbacks, days without customers, debts piling up, doubts whispering in their ears. Ethan once thought of giving up. He remembered saying, "Liam, maybe we're just meant to be poor forever." But Liam put his hand on Ethan's shoulder. "We've been through nights with no food, winters with no heat, and somehow we're still here. You once gave me half your bread when you had nothing. I won't let us give up now." That reminder reignited their spirit. Years later, the same garage that once smelled of sawdust now gleamed as a full-fledged workshop. Ethan and Liam weren't just repairing furniture anymore, they were crafting it, designing it, selling it across the city. What began with scraps had turned into a thriving business. The biggest twist: their success didn't change who they were. They never forgot those nights of hunger. They hired workers who were struggling just like they once had. They gave free furniture to shelters and offered young people apprenticeships. One day, standing outside their shop, Ethan looked at Liam with a smile. "Funny, isn't it? All of this started with a single loaf of bread." Liam nodded, his voice thick with emotion. "Not the bread, Ethan. The kindness. Final message. Success built on greed fades quickly. But success built on kindness, loyalty, and sacrifice, it lasts forever." Ethan and Liam's story reminds us that sometimes the smallest acts of compassion are the seeds of the greatest victories.